check, 1, 2.
Go! Curious about real estate? Yes! Then you've come to the right place. Get the knowledge you need. Get over the fear and get started. This is the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show with your host, Michael Quarles.
Hello, everybody. Michael Quarles with the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. And today I have podcast 245. It is 5 questions sent in by a real estate investor. And I am going to do my best to answer it. And remember, if you have a question, send it to support@michaelquarles.com. Also, if you're thinking about learning real estate and you need a coach, check us out as well. Here we go. Question number 1. Our house is in Oildale. Oh, they're in my same city. That's so exciting. I love it. You know, I actually have coaching students in my city. That's pretty cool. I'll start again. Our house is in Oildale. Our house in Oildale has an extra non-permitted bedroom built into the garage. First, I was thinking we'd have to tear it out and as part of this rehab. But now I'm wondering if we should just clean it up and sell it the way it is. Will FHA still loan on a house with a garage conversion? Well, that's a lender appraiser question. I sold one in Wasco, which is a city outside of Bakersfield, and not too long ago. And it had a converted garage, and boy, it went right through. I thought for sure I'd have to tear it out too, or convert it back. But the appraiser appraised it fine, and they financed it with an FHA loan, and they were fine. But talk to your appraiser who's doing the appraisal. I wouldn't tear it out. One of the things that you kind of can figure on, especially when it's in Oildale, let's face it, you have a lot of non-conforming properties up there. It's just part of what Oildale's like. And so, yeah, they're going to grandfather it in probably for you, and you'll be fine. Congratulations on buying a house and falling forward. Always better to do that than not do anything at all. But yeah, I wouldn't tear it down unless someone said I had to. And you're in an area of the city where it's probably going to be fine. Question number 2. I haven't officially done a deal yet. Dang it, we're going to help you on that. What can I say when someone asks, how many houses have you bought so far? Or where do you get all that cash? Well, I haven't yet ever had anybody ask me where do I get all my cash. So that's not even going to be a question. If it is, bank account, that's where I get mine. Where do you get yours? Been frugal all my life. It's just important to have cash when you want to do something like what we're asking you to do today, which is sell me your house. So it's just not going to be a question, but you can answer it without answering it, I guess. You can give that political answer of just avoiding the question if you don't have any cash. But you're going to get it out of a bank account, someone's bank account, right? And it's really not an important question. But how many houses have you bought so far? This is about you giving them a signal that you haven't bought any houses yet. Think about this now. A lot of us will walk around going, I haven't done it yet. And so I kind of have to show them I haven't done it yet. And you wear the word newbie on your forehead. Well, let's remove that attitude. Let's go, I may have never bought a house yet, but you're still more qualified to buy their house than they are themselves. You know more about real estate than the average seller, and you may not know a lot about real estate yet. So let's remove that newbie thing. You're not new. The last time you were new, they spanked you on your butt to make you start crying, or you make you cry so you can start breathing. And that was it. You're 16 inches long. You were just born. That's what a new thing is. That's new. You have life experiences that I don't have, which will cause you to get a contract I can't get. So let's stop with the newbie concept. But however, someone may ask you. Someone's asked me before. Actually, they asked me this way. They go, "You've bought 84 houses already so far?" And I said, "Well, I have 84 this year," kind of thing. But if you get stuck on that one, there's 2 ways you can handle it. If you're part of my coaching program, you say you belong to a group that buys hundreds of houses and has bought thousands of them, kind of thing. If you're not in my coaching program, of course, you can't say that. But you can say, you know what, here's the important part about that question. The question isn't really how many I've bought or sold. The question really needs to be, can I perform? And I'm saying I can. I know you want to sell me your house today, and I know I want to buy it. I wouldn't enter into an agreement with you without the ability to buy it. So my past performance, I may have bought 100 houses and I may have not bought any. Then that doesn't really matter. What really matters today is that we simply agree on a price. Make a commitment. I'm going to make a commitment to you to give you my money on the day of your choice. Give you your money on the day of your choice. And you're going to make a commitment today to sell me the house at a price that is fair for both of us. Because that's really the question, right? That's really, have you ever done it before? That's all they're asking you is, can you do it now? And if you come across with personality or the aura of, I've never done it, can't do it, don't know what I'm doing, well, they're not going to sign your contract. But let's face it, when you are in urgent mode, when you need something from someone, you don't ask them their qualification. You assume they can, and our sellers need to assume that we can. We need to be the professional that says we can solve your problem. But great question.
Thanks for listening. We'll be right back. Are you running out of leads? It's time you tried Yellow Letters at yellowletters.com. Get motivated seller leads through yellow letters, postcards, zip letters, typed professional letters, greeting cards, door hangers, and business cards. Yellow Letters is a full-service marketing company created with your success in mind. Get the personal attention you need to get your direct mail campaign started and get in touch at yellowletters.com.
And we are back in 3, 2, 1.
Question number 3. I struggle with the limiting belief that my age 23 and my young looks 18 keep sellers from taking me serious face-to-face. Is this belief true? How can I overcome this problem? Well, grow a mustache, I guess. I don't know. I was a teenage adult when I bought my first property, so I understand. I absolutely understand. It's going to stop the people it stops. It's not going to stop the people that doesn't stop. If it's stopping you from presenting your ability and your offer to people that will say yes, then it's stopping you too. But it's not going to stop someone that wants to sell their house. Who cares what someone looks like? I don't care if you're black, white, if you're gay, lesbian, whatever. I don't care any of that stuff. I don't care what you are, you'd look like, how old you are. If I need to sell a house, I need to sell a house. Don't let your own personal limitations, your own personal thought process attach to somebody else and make them feel how you feel, unless you want them to sell you the house and you have that attitude. And you're a guerrilla investor. Man, take it. Go for it. Don't worry about what you look like. Who cares? There are so many man, if I knew what I know today and I was 23, my goodness, they'd have to tie me up and keep me from conquering the world. Man, you have so many advantages that old farts like me don't have. Don't worry that you're only 23. Don't worry that you got a baby face. Man, that's gonna come back to benefit you. Go buy a house. That's all I got to say. Question number 4. For our marketing chart, it's net of coaching students. Pretty cool. What exactly does it mean when a zip code with 5 times as many cash transactions rank halfway down the list as others? Sometimes that will mean there's not a lot of REOs. Sometimes that's going to mean there's not a lot of foreclosures. The days on market are bad. The median price is high. Those kinds of things. There's not a lot of equity position properties. The cash transaction indicator, it's really what we're looking for there is give me an area where there's a lot of cash transactions. Now, one thing that will happen is when you look at an area with a lot of cash transactions, some areas will have high cash transactions and high median, and that's not an investor market. That's a owner-occupant market or a second home market. So if you got a median of $1.7 million and you got a lot of cash transactions, you got second home market. That's all that is. That's not, and they're owner-occupied. They're not investors. So you want to stay away from that. That wasn't really the question. But if you have a lot of high cash transactions, but it's in the middle of the chart, that's just because you don't have enough REOs, enough pre-foreclosures. Maybe you have too many units per zip code kind of thing. Your days on market suck, something like that. So there's other indicators, which is why it's why we look at cash transactions. That's why we look at how many units per zip code. It's why we look at the pre-foreclosure percentage, the REO percentage, the days on market, the median price for the market, how many houses have an equity position, and how many of those houses are in the bottom third, middle third, top third. That's why we cram all those numbers together and run an algorithm on it, and really pulls back to us some good stuff. So it's just one indicator. That's all it is. Question number 5. If I write a letter to an out-of-state absentee owner asking him if he is interested in selling, and he agrees, how can I view the interior of the property to view the condition and make my final offer? Well, I'm not going to worry about that prior to contract. All right? I mean, let's face it, you can learn a lot of things from the conversation with the seller. Now, I am going to ask him to send me some pictures, but I'm not going to require them before I can make a commitment. But once I make a commitment, then I'm going to have a BPO agent go out there and do an interior inspection. It's going to cost me $150. I use Coaster. It's a national service provider. And what I have found is if you can't get a BPO done, don't buy the property. Because if you can't find an agent to do a BPO, you can't find a buyer who's represented by an agent to sell the property for you. So don't buy the property. If you don't want to go through a national company like Coaster, in your local marketplace, look for REO agents, guys and gals that sell houses for lenders, REOs, and find those folks because they do BPOs. They're going to do a BPO for every REO they have, so they know how to do them. But a BPO is different than a CMA, a comparative market analysis. So it's important that we get the broker's price opinion over a CMA, because of the broker's price opinion, they're actually going to go out, they're going to look at the inside, the outside, they're going to look at the comparable sales and evaluate them much like an appraiser would. So it's an important step, but you don't have to see the inside of the house. If you can get the seller to tell you, question number 3 is, what do you think an appraiser would appraise it for in today's marketplace if I send a professional appraiser out to appraise it? And they say value, and then you ask them what they want for their walkaway after you take care of the loans that are against the property, if there are any, and that number is low enough for you to say yes, raise your hand and say yes, then put it under contract. If you find out during your BPO process, during your interior inspections, you have a bunch of repairs that the seller didn't advise you about, or you have a price condition or condition of price that's different, then you just renegotiate. That's all. Yeah, don't worry about it. Get it under contract. Now, don't go around getting things under contract for the sake of getting them under contract. Make sure that it's reasonable in the first place. So it has to qualify to get in a contract based upon the conversation you have had with your seller. And we cover this a lot in the coaching program. So great questions. Appreciate everybody. And until next time, bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. Get more info and stay in touch at michaelquarles.com.